Well, as a student, I usually ask my colleagues what meaning we associate with the term First Republic, Second Republic, Third Republic, and now Fourth Republic. In other words, what is the meaning of Ghana being in the Fourth Republic? Or what do we mean when we say the Fourth Republican Constitution? And trust me, whenever I ask this question, and some who try to answer, they usually tell me, okay, before 1992, we used to have coup d'etats, right? We used to have political instability, military junta, and because we are now in a constitutional rule, that is why we are having a fourth republican constitution. So I usually disagree by asking them the question, what then is a republic? They say, oh, a republic is a country that has come out of political instability, meaning we are no more under military rule, and then we've decided to use a constitution. So I tell them, okay, what they said is closer to the truth. However, I try to draw their understanding to the fact that in 1960, where we had the first Republican Constitution, we never had any report of coup d'etat. So how do we navigate through that controversy? And they are unable to make a meaning out of that. So then, what is meant by a republic is um, a country which is being governed by a native of that country. Let me put it simply. Ghana in 1960 was being governed by Kwame Nkrumah. Another person may ask me, what about 1957? We had Kwame Nkrumah. Yes, Kwame Nkrumah was the head of state, but not entirely. He was only a prime minister, with the Queen of England still being the leader, right? But in 1960, we became a republic. 1st July 1960, that was when the last governor of the Gold Coast left, Lord Listowel, and then Kwame Nkrumah became fully president. So that was when we had it. Remember, in 1957 too, we had a constitution, but we called it the Independence Constitution. So then, the first Republican Constitution, it ended in 1966 when Kotoka and his allies overthrew Nkrumah under the National Liberation Council, right? So the First Republic had come to an end because the constitution that guaranteed the republic had been taken away. Then the National Liberation Council gave power back to a civilian government in 1969 under the Progress Party, under the leadership of Prime Minister Buzia and President Edward Akufo-Addo, right, the father of the former president Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. All right. So they also continued ruling until 1972 when the National Redemption Council, under the rulership of Colonel Ignatius Kutu Achampong, also overthrew them. That was also a military government. So